You keep asking for a sign. You wait for something big, something undeniable, something that will finally tell you what to do with your life. You make dua. You look to the sky and you hope that somehow clarity will suddenly descend upon you. But what if the very moment you are in right now is already your answer? What if the delay, the confusion, the unanswered questions are not signs of abandonment but signs of preparation? There are moments in life when you find yourself constantly asking Allah for a sign, something clear and undeniable that will remove all your doubts and guide your next step. You raise your hands in dua, perhaps in the quiet of the night, perhaps after a moment of confusion or pain, and you say, Ya Allah, show me what to do, show me a sign. This feeling comes from a place deep within your heart, a place that seeks certainty, comfort, and direction. You want reassurance that you are not lost, that your choices matter, and that your life is moving towards something meaningful. But in this constant asking, there is often a misunderstanding of what a sign truly is. Many people expect something extraordinary, something that will interrupt the natural flow of life, a sudden event, a dramatic change, or a clear message that leaves no room for interpretation. They wait for something big, something impossible to ignore. And because they are focused on this idea of a grand sign, they overlook the countless smaller signs that are already surrounding them every single day. Every delay you experience, every unexpected turn, every moment of ease or difficulty carries within it a message. The problem is not that signs are absent. The problem is that the heart is sometimes too distracted, too impatient, or too attached to its own expectations to recognize them. You may be asking Allah for guidance while at the same time ignoring the guidance that is already unfolding in your life. Consider how often you have prayed for something and then circumstances began to shift in ways you did not expect. A path you wanted became blocked and you felt disappointed. A relationship you invested in began to fall apart and you felt hurt. An opportunity you were certain about slipped away and you felt confused. In those moments you may have thought that your dua was not being answered. But what if that very redirection was the answer itself? When you constantly ask for a sign, it also reveals a deeper struggle within, the desire for absolute clarity before taking a step forward. You want to be sure before you act. You want guarantees before you trust. But life does not always work that way. Allah teaches you through the process, not just through the outcome. The uncertainty you feel is not a punishment. It is part of your growth. It pushes you to reflect, to be sincere, and to strengthen your connection with Him. Sometimes the act of asking itself is a sign. The fact that your heart turns to Allah, that you seek His guidance instead of relying only on yourself, is already an indication that He is drawing you closer. Not everyone asks. Not everyone feels that need. The very restlessness in your heart, the very feeling that something is missing, is a form of guidance guiding you back to Him. And then there are moments when you receive subtle clarity, but you hesitate to accept it because it does not match what you were hoping for. You feel a sense of discomfort about a certain path, yet you continue to pursue it. You notice red flags in a situation, yet you choose to ignore them. You feel a quiet peace when moving in a different direction, yet you doubt it because it seems too simple. These are all signs, but they require honesty and humility to accept. The journey of constantly asking for a sign is not about waiting for something external to appear. It is about refining your ability to see, to understand, and to trust. It is about realizing that guidance is not always loud, but it is always present. It is woven into your experiences, your emotions, your interactions, and even your setbacks. The more you become aware, the more you begin to notice that Allah has never left you without direction, even for a single moment. There is a powerful realization that many people overlook. Guidance is not something distant that you are waiting to receive one day. It is something that is already present around you, unfolding in ways you may not immediately recognize. You may feel like you are stuck, unsure of your next step, wondering why clarity has not yet come. But in reality, your life right now is filled with direction, filled with subtle indications, filled with moments that are shaping you and leading you exactly where you need to be. Often people assume that if they were truly guided, they would feel completely certain, completely confident, with no confusion at all. But that is not how growth works. The presence of questions in your mind does not mean the absence of guidance. In fact, those very questions are part of the process of being guided. They push you to think deeper, to reflect on your intentions, to examine your choices, and to turn back to Allah more sincerely, look closely at your daily life. There are patterns, there are repeated lessons, there are situations that seem to come back again and again until you finally understand what they are teaching you. There are moments when something feels right deep in your heart, even if it doesn't make sense logically. There are also moments when something feels off, even if it looks perfect on the outside. These feelings are not random. They are part of how Allah gently directs you, protecting you from harm and guiding you toward what is better for you. You may also notice how certain doors open with ease while others remain firmly closed, no matter how hard you try. This is not coincidence. When something is meant for you, Allah can make the path smoother than you ever imagined. And when something is not meant for you, no amount of force will make it last. What you perceive as obstacles are often forms of mercy, steering you away from what could harm your heart, your faith, or your future guidance also appears through the people around you. Sometimes it comes in the form of advice that touches your heart at the exact moment you need it. Sometimes it comes through the actions of others, showing you what to do or what to avoid. Even difficult people and challenging relationships can serve as guidance, teaching you patience, boundaries, and self-awareness in ways that comfort never could. Another aspect of recognizing that guidance is already around you is learning to slow down and reflect. When life moves too fast, you miss the signs. When your mind is constantly distracted, you overlook the lessons. But when you take a moment to pause, to think, and to connect with Allah, you begin to see things differently. You start to understand why certain events happened the way they did. You begin to notice how every experience, whether good or bad, carries a purpose. There is also a need to let go of the idea that guidance must always match your expectations. Sometimes the path that is best for you is not the one you initially wanted. Sometimes the answer to your dua comes in a form that challenges you rather than comforts you. And sometimes what feels like a delay is actually perfect timing that you will only understand later. When you truly accept that guidance is already present, your perspective begins to shift. You stop feeling completely lost and instead, you begin to see yourself as someone who is in the middle of a journey that is being carefully directed. You realize that even your mistakes are not wasted because they teach you lessons that shape your future decisions. You understand that every step, even the uncertain ones, is part of a bigger picture that you cannot fully see yet. And in that awareness, your relationship with Allah deepens. You no longer wait passively for a sign to arrive from somewhere far away. Instead, you become more attentive, more reflective, and more grateful for the guidance that has been with you all along, woven into every moment of your life, quietly leading you forward even when you do not realize it. Yet patience is one of the most misunderstood parts of the journey toward discovering your purpose. Many people think patience simply means waiting, sitting still, and doing nothing until clarity arrives. But true patience is far deeper than that. It is an active state of the heart, a constant trust in Allah, even when things are unclear, even when the answers you seek seem delayed, and even when the path ahead feels uncertain. When you are searching for your purpose, there will be moments where you feel like you are not moving forward at all. You may compare yourself to others who seem to have everything figured out. You may feel like time is passing you by while you are still trying to understand where you belong. In those moments, impatience begins to grow. You start questioning why your duas are not being answered in the way you expected. You begin to wonder if you are doing something wrong or if you have somehow been left behind. But what you often fail to see is that patience itself is part of the process that shapes your purpose. Allah does not just give you what you ask for, He prepares you for it. And preparation requires time, it requires experiences, lessons, growth, and sometimes even pain. Without patience, you would rush into things that you are not ready for. You would make decisions based on emotions rather than wisdom. You would chase what looks good in the moment without understanding its long-term impact. Patience teaches you to slow down and to trust that every stage of your life has meaning, even the stages that feel confusing or unproductive. It allows you to grow internally while things are still unfolding externally. During these periods, you are developing strength, resilience, and clarity, qualities that are essential for whatever lies ahead. Even though it may feel like nothing is happening, a lot is changing within you. There is also a form of patience that involves holding back from what you desire because you know it may not be right for you. This is one of the most difficult types of patience. When you want something deeply, whether it is a person, an opportunity, or a certain outcome, it takes strength to step back and say, if this is not good for me, then keep it away from me. This kind of patience reflects a deep level of trust in Allah's wisdom, even when your heart is attached. At times, patience will be tested through delays. You will ask for something repeatedly, and the answer will not come immediately. You will plan, and things will not go according to your plan. You will try again and again and still face obstacles. In these moments, it is easy to feel discouraged. It is easy to lose hope. But these delays are not without purpose. They are refining your intentions, strengthening your reliance on Allah, and teaching you to detach from outcomes while staying committed to effort. Patience also protects you from making choices that could harm you in the long run. When you are impatient, you tend to settle for less than what you deserve. You may accept situations that compromise your values simply because you are tired of waiting. But when you are patient, you maintain your standards. You trust that what is written for you will reach you, without you having to chase it in a way that damages your faith or your integrity. There are moments when patience feels heavy, when the waiting becomes difficult, and when your heart feels tired. In those moments, patience is not about pretending to be strong. It is about continuing to turn to Allah even with your weakness. It is about being honest in your dua, expressing your struggles, and still holding on to the belief that there is wisdom behind everything you are going through. As you continue on your journey, you begin to realize that patience is not separate from discovering your purpose. It is a central part of it. Through patience, you learn who you are. Through patience, you understand what truly matters to you. Through patience, you build the character needed to handle whatever blessings or responsibilities come your way. And without patience, even if your purpose was placed right in front of you, you might not recognize it, appreciate it, or be able to carry it in the way it deserves to be carried. Trusting Allah's timing is one of the greatest challenges a person can face, because it requires you to let go of your own sense of control. As human beings, we naturally want things to happen according to our plans. We set timelines for ourselves, we imagine how our lives should unfold, and we become deeply attached to specific outcomes. When things don't go as expected, it creates frustration, confusion, and sometimes even disappointment within the heart. You may have had moments where you were certain that something was meant for you at a particular time. You planned for it, you prayed for it, and you felt ready for it. But then it didn't happen. The opportunity didn't come, or it slipped away just when you thought it was within reach. In those moments, it is very easy to question why things are not aligning the way you had hoped. You begin to wonder if your efforts were wasted, or if your dua was not heard. But trusting Allah's timing means understanding that your perspective is limited while His knowledge is complete. You see only what is in front of you, but Allah sees what lies ahead, what lies behind, and what is hidden beyond your understanding. What you think is the perfect time may actually be the wrong time, and what you perceive as a delay may actually be protection or preparation. There are situations where receiving something too early could harm you more than benefit you. You may not yet have the emotional strength, the wisdom, or the stability to handle it. If Allah were to give you everything you asked for immediately, you might find yourself overwhelmed, making mistakes, or even losing what you were given because you were not ready to sustain it. So the delay is not a denial, it is a form of care. Trusting His timing also requires you to accept that sometimes what you want is not what is best for you. You may be holding on to a specific vision for your life, believing that it will bring you happiness or fulfillment, but Allah, in His infinite wisdom, may be directing you towards something entirely different, something that you cannot yet see or fully understand. Letting go of your own timeline allows you to become open to what is truly written for you. There is a sense of peace that comes when you begin to release your need to control every detail. Instead of constantly worrying about when something will happen, you shift your focus to how you are living in the present moment. You continue to make effort. You continue to strive for what is good, but you leave the outcome in the hands of Allah. This balance between effort and trust is where true contentment begins to grow. At times, trusting Allah's timing will be tested through repeated disappointments. You may feel like things are not moving forward, like you are stuck in the same place while others are progressing. This can create a sense of restlessness, making you question your journey. But every person's path is different. What is written for someone else at a certain time may not be written for you in the same way. Your journey is unique, and it unfolds according to a plan that is perfectly tailored for you. There are also moments when something finally happens after a long period of waiting, and you begin to understand why it did not happen earlier. You see how the timing aligns perfectly, how certain pieces had to fall into place, and how you have changed in ways that allow you to appreciate and handle the situation better than you could have before. These moments strengthen your trust and remind you that delays often carry hidden wisdom. Trusting Allah's timing is not about becoming passive or giving up on your goals. It is about continuing to strive while accepting that the results are not entirely in your control. It is about believing that what is meant for you will never miss you, and what misses you was never meant for you. This belief allows you to move forward with a sense of calmness, even when things are uncertain. As this trust grows, your relationship with Allah deepens. You begin to rely on Him not just in moments of need, but in every aspect of your life. You understand that every delay, every acceleration, every unexpected turn is part of a carefully designed plan. And even when you do not understand what is happening, you hold on to the certainty that there is wisdom behind it, a wisdom that will reveal itself in ways you may not yet be able to see. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, after all the questions, after all the waiting, after all the moments where you felt unsure and kept asking Allah for a sign, you begin to realize something powerful. The sign was never missing. The sign was your journey itself. Every delay you experienced was shaping you. Every closed door was protecting you. Every moment of confusion was teaching you to turn back to Allah with sincerity. And every step you took, even when you were uncertain, was part of a path that was already written with wisdom. You were never abandoned. You were being guided in ways you did not yet understand. Your purpose is not something that suddenly appears one day with complete clarity. It is something that unfolds through your patience, your trust, your struggles, and your growth. It is built in the moments when you choose faith over fear, when you choose to keep going even without all the answers, and when you choose to trust Allah's plan over your own expectations. So stop waiting for a dramatic sign to begin your life. Stop thinking that guidance will only come when everything feels perfect and certain. The fact that you are seeking, the fact that your heart turns to Allah, the fact that you are trying despite your doubts, this is already a sign that you are on the right path. Walk forward with sincerity. Make your efforts with honesty. Keep your qalb connected to Allah and trust that He will guide you exactly where you need to be at the exact time you need to be there. Because your purpose is not ahead of you, waiting to be discovered someday. Your purpose is being written right now, in every choice you make, in every moment you trust, and in every step you take toward Allah.